with you on the home appliances markets and on some trends. A brief look back to 2013 confirms that the trend over recent years, mainly stagnation in the mature, highly saturated markets and growth in the emerging markets. The total value of the home appliances sales in 2013 amounted to roughly 100,000 billion US dollar, which represents an increase of 3%. Asia and Latin America contributed positively, but also Northern America, where consumer confidence and thus industry demand has come back. On the other side, Western Europe markets moved mainly sidewards or even declined. The rather weak economic situation had a considerable negative impact on sales. Especially in Southern Europe, the situation is still tense. All the markets in France and the Netherlands were weak. Examples for a positive growth were Germany and the United Kingdom. Asia is the largest market for home appliances, but both in value and in number of sales. Western Europe is number 2 with 22% share. Although its share in the global population is less than 7%. North America, Latin America and the cluster region Africa and Eastern Europe are rather close. It does not take a genius to predict that Asia and other emerging markets will continue to expand their share. And as we know that about 85% of the world's population lives in emerging markets, it is quite obvious on which regions manufacturers will put their focus on. Saturated appliances markets are more vulnerable to economic crisis. In bad times, people are mainly investing in necessities only. An old, broken fridge will be replaced, yes, but the purchase of new kitchen will be postponed. The financial crisis of 2008 and 2009 had a particular negative impact on the North American and European market. Surely, emerging or growth markets are not immune to economic growth. China's economic, for instance, is slowing down at present, but demographic structures and the growing purchasing power give a strong impetus to further and sustainable growth. Nevertheless, there are good business opportunities in the core markets as well. Not so much in selling more items in numbers, but in selling high-quality appliances to meet the more sophisticated demands of customers. And if the offer is adequate, the consumer is willing to invest. Just to give you an idea, last year we commissioned a study focusing on German consumers. We asked for the reasons for the replacement of old major appliances with new ones, and we compared the result with a similar survey 10 years ago. In the year 2004, in 26% of all cases, the old appliance worked still well. But the old washing machine, fridge or dishwasher was replaced because the customer wanted to have a better one. In our recent survey, this share climbed to 31%. Even more consumers wanted to have a better appliance with more energy efficiency, more comfort and a better performance. And therein lays an opportunity for good business also in saturated, mature markets, offering top quality products with a higher value. As I said, if the offer is adequate, the consumer is willing to invest. Consequently, it is a permanent challenge for industry to find out about consumers' needs and requests. What are the features which are likely to be accepted and which lead to a higher value? How to convince consumers to invest in innovation and quality. There are some stable trends which provide some orientation. We see a strong demand for convenience and functionality. Home appliances must provide innovative technology, but the technology must be easy to use. Whether you take, for example, a washing machine with a multitude of programs or an oven with sophisticated automatic functions, consumers expect a self-explaining, logical user interface without the need to get deeply involved in the manual. Consequently, controls and touchpads similar to smartphones conquer the white goods world. Another clear trend is good design. Design should be modern but not stylish. It should support the functionality and communicate the message and value of the brand. Within these borders, there is much room for creativity. Design is especially important for appliances which are used in the kitchen, like oven, range hoods, coffee machines, or even toasters. People don't want to have more working utensils around them, but objects which are also good to look at. As you would have expected, energy efficiency is still a strong trend. Demand for energy and water-saving appliances is driven by ever-increasing energy prices and a growing environmental awareness. There is another trend that is also on long-term influencing our business positively, the so-called urbanization. Till 2015, nearly 70% of the world's population will live in greater metropolitan areas. Means that also the size of the households itself living in a household will decline. 1960 in Europe and the US, the size of a household had been between 3 and 4 people. 2010, it's between 2 and 3. And in Germany, for example, the average is actual 1.8 persons. And this trend, of course, drives also our business. We will see this development in more and more all regions all over the world. It is, of course, driven by economic prosperity and the education of people, but also by religion and age. Due to this development of energy-efficient products, by respecting environmentally, sustainability will be the megatrend, or let me say a must for our industry. Furthermore, home appliances are still in the focus of regulation. Just to illustrate this point, we came across a recent survey about the number of measures for energy performance standards and comparative labels. It was done by an Australian agency. It's hard to believe, but there are more than 3,500 energy measures worldwide, just for products. And it's not a big surprise that Europe is leading the ranking by far. It may appear that Europe is not only saturated in terms of home appliances, but also in terms of regulations. Of course, when talking about trends, smart or networked must be on the list. I guess it is safe to assume that smart appliances will play a greater role at the 2014 IFA than last year. There is no breakthrough in the mass market yet, but we notice an increasing interest from consumers. The digitalization of home appliances has begun, and IFA will show new futures of smart, networked appliances. Industry is testing what is technically visible and how certain features and functions are received by the markets. On first sight, one or the other smart feature may not appear as essential. But we think that enough consumers are fascinated with this new technology. It's fun for them to operate a washing machine by a smartphone or to check the content of a fridge by using a digital camera. And there's no doubt that digitization will bring very useful features. Energy management, for example, which contributes to the saving of CO2 emissions and energy costs. Let's now turn to the world of small appliances. When you visit the IFA in September, I really recommend that you pay some special attention to small appliances. It is a $56 billion business with a growth rate of more than 7% worldwide, continuously growing all over the world. In emerging markets, people invest in basic equipment, a coffee machine, a vacuum cleaner, a rice cooker or a steam iron. There is a vast potential there. But also in the mature market, here on the example of Europe, demand for small appliances is growing. 1/3 of the growth is coming from innovations with tremendous growth, especially multi-cookers, robot vacuum cleaners and window cleaners. In almost every European country, sales figures are positive. Small appliances are benefiting from long-term trends. Drivers are convenience, health, design and cooking. Especially cooking, healthy cooking of course, is driving demand for kitchen machines to blend, to chop, to puree or to mix food. Good design is of paramount importance. Small appliances turn into design objects and become thus a part of the lifestyle. A new feature is connectivity or connected health, meaning that an appliance gives feedback using a smartphone as an interface. This could be a personal scale telling you that you are not exact on track to reach again your ideal weight, or a toothbrush revealing that your son was not overly enthusiastic in cleaning properly his teeth. Furthermore, energy efficiency plays an increasing role. Vacuum cleaners are subject to the European Energy Label from September this year on. The input power will be limited as well. The first eco-design limit will be at 1600 watt, the second step in 2017 at 900 watt. This is quite a challenge for our engineers, but also an opportunity for industry for marketing high-efficient appliances. Talking about robot vacuum cleaners. Here we have a very attractive segment with potential for further growth. The vacuum cleaner robots. With a compound growth rate of about 18% within the last 2 years, robot cleaners have now a share of 8% in value of the total vacuum cleaner market in Western Europe. Although there are well over 100 different sorts of small home appliances. There are always opportunities to extend business with innovative products. Let me finish by giving you a brief outlook for the business in 2014. For the global household appliances market, I expect growth in value between 3 and 5%, without consideration of exchange rates. Not surprisingly, the growth will be driven by emerging markets in Asia and Latin America, and also driven by North America, where consumers' confidence is back. The European market will likely continue its sideways performance. So business is getting more and more global. Industry's focus is shifting to regions with the greatest potentials for sustainable growth. To support these efforts, we need a really excellent international platform for marketing. A platform to talk to international customers and to the media. IFA is the place for it. We hope that the next show in Berlin will foster our worldwide business and give further impetus to the global market.